All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. I got another video for you. I hope everybody's having a good Labor Day weekend. I know I am. I figured I'd at least get one video out there for the weekend. I know everybody's probably busy, so watch it whenever you can. Appreciate anybody who watches my videos and subscribes to my channel. It's terrific. As always, I just want to say thanks to you guys. I know that I got the right audience here. Getting a little bit more pushback lately as I going into a little more, kind of controversial stuff. Not as quite cold hard fact. A little more opinion based, but that's to be expected. It's fine. This video here is not opinion based at all. This is going to be a typical cold hard facts, and you make of it as you will. You can say it's not powerful. It is powerful. Usually, if it shines a light in a bad way on a player that you like, you're going to say it's no big deal. And if it shines a light on the player that you like in a positive light, you'll say it is a big deal. That's typically how these things go down. But either way, it is what it is in my mind. In this video, what I'm looking at is actually somebody in the comments had said something. So I wanted to go back and research it, and that is some of the biggest upsets in NBA history. I covered all the one that the win differential, I didn't care about seeding so much as win differential between the two teams. Anybody who is in double-digit win differential. The best way I usually like to do it is just get right into it. And I went all the way back to the very beginning. And there was not a lot of upsets in the 50s and 60s at all. There were upsets, but not big upsets. So the very first one I'm talking about, 1950, the Fort Wayne Pistons, before they were Detroit Pistons, they were 40-28. They were the 3 seed. Not that that matters. Like I said, seeding doesn't matter so much here. But they beat the Rochester Royals, who were the 2 seed, at 51-17. So 40-28 versus 51-17. That's an 11-win differential. So Fort Wayne won that. That was the biggest upset the first decade of the NBA. The next one is, and this was actually a pretty large upset, 1959, the Minneapolis Lakers, who were 33-39, beat the St. Louis Hawks, who were 49-23. That would have been the Western, they called it division back then, Western Division semifinals. They beat them, and that was a 16-win differential. That's big. Like I said, St. Louis was 49-23. Minneapolis was 33 wins. So that's a very big, win disparity. The next one of note is 1968. The San Francisco Warriors, later on were the Golden State Warriors. They were 43-39, and they beat the St. Louis Hawks, who were 56-26. And that was a 13-win differential. And you'll see the Warriors are involved in a lot of these upsets, good or bad. The next one's in 1971. The Baltimore Bullets, who were 42-40, they were the 2 seed, beat the Knicks. I can't believe they were the 2 seed at 42-40, but they were. Beat the Knicks, who were the 1 seed at 52-30. So that was a 10-win differential. And that would have been the team that the Bucks would have played in the finals. But the Milwaukee Bucks got so lucky and dodged the Knicks and got a 42-40 team instead. I always found that funny, I guess. The next one, 1973, Golden State Warriors. They were the 4 seed. This would have been the semifinals. 47-35, beat the Milwaukee Bucks. That's Kareem, that's Oscar, Bob Dandridge, all that. They were 60-22, so that's a 13-win differential. Pretty big spread. And then 1975, Golden State did it again. They were in the finals, they were the one seed of the West. They were 48-34, heavy underdogs against the Bullets. Washington Bullets were 60-22. That's a 12-win differential, and Golden State won the championship. One of those, rare ones where a team under 50 wins won the championship. The very next year, 1976, a lot of upsets in the 70s. Phoenix was 42-40. They were the 3 seed. They beat Golden State in the West Finals, who was 59-23. That's a 17-win differential. That's the biggest upset for the first, 25 years of the NBA before the merger. 1978, Seattle Supersonics were the 4 seed, beat Portland, who had just won the championship. Seattle was 47-35, and Portland was 58-24. However, this one has an asterisk by it. Bill Walton missed 4 games in that series. You got to think that affected things. That's an 11-win swing. 1981, the Kansas City Kings, the 5 seed, was 40-42, beat the Phoenix Suns, who were 57-25, a 17-win differential, big upset. And this is one of the big upset seasons of the entire NBA. Also in 81, the Houston Rockets, the 6 seed, were 40-42. They beat the Lakers with Kareem and Magic and all that, who was 54-28. So that's a 14-win differential. After they beat them, they then played San Antonio, who was 52-30. Houston beat them. That's a 12-win differential. They had 2 in the same year, which is very rare, actually. I'll show you later how rare that is. So you had 3 in the same season by 2 different teams. That was by far the most to that point. 1986, Houston Rockets were 51-31. And that was in the Western Conference Finals. They beat the Showtime Lakers, who were 62-20, 11-win differential. 1987, Seattle was 39-43, who beat the 55-27 Dallas Mavericks, a 16-win differential. And Seattle then, if I remember correctly, turned around and beat Houston, but Houston was only like a 43-win team, a minor upset, but they got all the way to the Western Conference Finals as a 39-43 team. Pretty remarkable. The next one is the 1989 Chicago Bulls. That nice run that the Bulls had in 89. They were 47-35 as the 6 seed. They beat the 3 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, who were 57-25. That's a 10-win differential. 1991, Golden State, that would have been like Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond. They were the 7 seed. They beat the Spurs, David Robinson, who were 55-27. That's an 11-win differential. Now here's a huge upset. As far as I know, this is the second biggest upset in NBA playoff history as far as win differential. The 1994 Denver Nuggets, 8 seeded, were 42-40, beat the Seattle Supersonics, who were 63-19. They were the 1 seed. 21-win differential. That's a huge spread. I remember that series in that game. It was a best of 5, went all the way down to the wire in best of 5, and Denver pulled the upset. Same year in 94, the Indiana Pacers were 5 seed, 47-35. They beat the Atlanta Hawks, who were 57-25. That's a 10-win differential. But there is a caveat. Atlanta was the best team in the East that year. The first, definitely to the All-Star break. They traded Dominique Wilkins. If I remember correctly, he was injured. Something was up with that. He did play. He got traded to the Clippers for Danny Manning. Clearly not the same team. Same team at all. I think Atlanta would have got to the finals that year. I really do. They would have been a formidable team to beat if, they were the same team in the beginning of the year as they were later in the year. They just had a really nice squad. But that didn't happen. Dominique got hurt, got traded, whatever. Now here's the best run in NBA history. And when you lay it out like this, it's it's amazing. 1995 Houston Rockets. In the first round, they were the 6th seed, 47-35. They played the Utah Jazz, who were 60-22. They beat them. That's a 13-win differential. In the semifinals, they beat Phoenix, who was 59-23, a 12-win differential. The Western Conference Finals, they beat San Antonio, the 1 seed, who was 62-20, a 15-win differential. And then in the finals, they beat Orlando, who was 57-25, a 10-win differential. All 4 playoff wins were double-digit win differentials. That's why this is easily the best run in NBA history. It's not close. I used to think it was. Like there was a couple teams maybe that were close. It just isn't. I went and looked at the Rockets in 95. Because, yes, they acquired Clyde Drexler 2/3 of the way through the season. But did you know that Houston was actually 30-17 without Drexler before they got him? And they were 17-18 after they acquired Drexler. They were better in the first part of the year without Drexler. I just always found that fascinating. Now, obviously, they went on a run and they, clicked at the right time or whatever. But to say that, if Drexler was there all year, they would have been a higher seed, I don't know about that. They might have even been like the 7 or the 8 seed. They weren't even 535 games together. So I don't know about that. I mean, we're never going to be able to prove it, but I got to take it at face value because Drexler not only didn't improve the record, they were actually worse with him in the regular season. And that's what I'm going by is regular season record. The 1997 Knicks were 7 seed, 43-39. They beat Miami, who was 55-27. That's a 12-win differential. However, Alonzo Mourning missed 1 game. I think that was that suspension game, the coming off the bench or whatever. And Dan Marley missed 3 games. So I got to think that probably played a role. I don't want to take anything away from the Knicks. It was a nice win, but you have to mention these things. When a major contributor missed time, you got to bring it up because it had to have affected something. Maybe not have turned the whole series, but it might have. From 1998 to 2006, 9 years, there were no upsets. That was a big, long stretch. But in 2007 is the biggest upset as far as win differential in NBA history. 2007 Golden State Warriors, the 8-seeded 42-40, beat the Dallas Mavericks, 1 seed, 67-15. They were coming off a finals run, lost to Miami in 06. That's a 25-win differential. That's the biggest in NBA history, with the 94 Nuggets over Seattle being the second with 21 wins. 2010... The next one, Boston, who was the 4 seed, beat Cleveland, the 1 seed. Boston was 50-32. Cleveland was 61-21. That's an 11-win differential. 2011, Memphis, the 8 seed, 46-36, beat San Antonio. It's another pretty big upset as far as seeding. Definitely a big upset. San Antonio was 61-21. That's a 15-win differential. All right. 2012, the 76ers were 35-31 in that shortened season, beat the Bulls, who were 50-16. However, that was a 15-win differential. However, Derrick Rose missed 5 games. I think it went 7. Joakim Noah missed 3 games, and Jimmy Butler missed 3 games. So I got to think that would have affected things. Absolutely. This is the best team in the regular season. Then all their players start getting hurt. That definitely have to have an asterisk by that one. No doubt about it. And this one, too, will have a small asterisk. The 2013 Golden State Warriors were 47-35. They beat Denver, who was 57-25. That's a 10-win differential. But Gallinari, Danilo Gallinari, he missed the entire series. I think he was their second leading scorer. And Kenneth Faried missed 1 game. So again, you got to have some kind of asterisk on there when you have, an important player missing one game. That could be huge. But your second leading scorer missing the entire series, I mean, that's definitely a factor, no question. 2016, couple upsets there. Oklahoma City was the 3 seed at 55-27. They beat the San Antonio Spurs, the 2 seed, who was 67-15. That's a 12-win differential. Now that was a nice upset. Probably the best thing that Kevin Durant ever did was when they beat San Antonio, because they were a 12-win better team, and San Antonio was tied Boston's record at 40-1 in the regular season, home court. Of course, they fell apart in the Western Conference Finals, lost multiple games at home. So, Boston finished up in 86 at 49-1 combined, regular season and playoffs. That's why I always say the 86 Boston was the best home team of all time, without a doubt. Now, you want to throw regular season in there? Yeah, San Antonio did tie them, but they couldn't seal the deal like Boston did. They still had an old Tim Duncan, they had an old Ginobili, an old Parker, and prime Kawhi Leonard. I think he won Defensive Player of the Year that year. I think he might have. 2016 Finals, Cleveland 57-25 beat Golden State 73-9. A 16-win differential. On its face, that looks good, and it is a nice upset. Draymond Green missed one game because of suspension. Now, I just don't know the NBA as well the last 10 years. I know some from about 2014 through maybe 2019. I did watch some, but I was losing interest for sure. 2020 to date, I don't know a whole lot. But Andrew Bogut missed 2 games, and what's his name? Leandro Barbosa missed 1 game. Now, I don't know. Maybe somebody leave in the comments. Was that a big impact? Because it looks like that neither one of them played a ton of minutes. I mean, are they key pieces in there? I mean, Bogut would have been a rim protector and all that. I don't know. But, they're not, I don't think they're starters. They didn't show they started any of the other games they were in. But, I think it's worth mentioning they weren't there. But I don't know how big a role they played. I'm a little out of my depth here. And then, of course, Draymond Green missing that 1 game. Obviously, that was certainly big. But, a small asterisk. I'm not going to say a big one, but definitely a small asterisk for that one. Okay, then there was about a 5-year gap. The next one was in 2022. Dallas Mavericks, the 4 seed, were 52-30. They beat Phoenix in the conference semifinals. Phoenix was 64-18. That's a 12-win differential. And then the most recent one, this is actually one of the best. This is one of the best runs by a team that did not win the championship. They did get to the finals as an 8 seed, and that was 2023 Miami, 44-38 team. First, they beat Milwaukee, the 1 seed, who was 58-24. Again, there's a small asterisk here, maybe at least a moderate asterisk. Giannis missed 2 games in that series. Now, from what I remember, they lost 2 games with Giannis. I want to say that they were 3-2 when Giannis wasn't there, and no, that might not be right. I don't know. I thought that they were 3-2 even when Giannis was there, and 1-1 when Giannis wasn't there. So it's almost like it didn't really matter, but you still got to mention it. Giannis did miss 2 games. The next series, Miami at 44-38, beat Boston in the conference finals, who was 57-25. I think that's a series they were up 3-0, and then it became tied 3-3, and then I think that's what happened. And then Miami won it in 7. That's a 13-win differential. So that's a nice 2-game stretch there where they beat a 14 and a 13 win differential there. But again, that's why I go back to that 95 season, how nice a run it was. The 81 Rockets had those 2 games, or 2 series where they beat the Lakers, 14-win differential. Then they beat the Spurs, a 12-win differential. And there's only been 3 teams to win multiple games like this in the same season. And that was the 81 Rockets, the 23 Miami, and the 95 Rockets. Now, where I go with Rockets being the best run, and I've heard people, and of course Nick Wright's one of them, he thinks it's a close second that the 2011 Mavericks was the second best run ever. I beg to differ. And I know he's talking about championship runs. Dallas beat good teams, no doubt. I mean, Portland was like a 45 or 46 win team in the first round. They're no big deal. The Lakers were the two-time defending champions, absolutely. Oklahoma City was a good team, and then Miami, of course, they just got the super team and all that. Okay, I'll give you that. You look at the players, you're saying they beat LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Bosh, Gasol, Kobe, Westbrook, KD. I get all that. Okay, I'm with you there. But here's my issue with it. Dallas against Portland was +9 in the win differential. They were even against the Lakers. They were +2 against Oklahoma City. And against Miami, they were -1. So the only team that even had a better record than they did was Miami in the finals. If you add it all up, the Mavericks were actually +10 in the win differential between the four teams they played. Now you look at the 69 Boston, they didn't have a big win differential, but they beat 8 top 75 players, and that's the most ever. And they only played 3 series. So you look at Dallas, yeah, they beat Damian Lillard, they beat Kobe Bryant, they beat Durant, Harden, Westbrook, Wade, and LeBron. They beat 7 top 75 players. That's a lot. 69 Boston in one less series beat 8. They beat, I believe the Knicks had 4. The 76ers had 2. Or no. The Knicks had 3, the Lakers had 3, and the Knicks had 3, the Sixers had 2, Knicks had 3, Lakers had 3 for a total of 8, and that was the most. But the win differential, they were -7, -6, and -7. That's -20 in the 3 teams they played in the win differential. To me, matters a lot more than how many top 75 players, because they're always at different degrees in their career. Like James Harden in 2011. Come on, he was coming off the bench. Was he averaging like 10 points a game or 12 points maybe? Not the same player as he was later. But like I said, Dallas was actually plus 10 in their 4 opponents in the playoffs. But the 95 Rockets, a whole nother level. They were -13, -12, -15, and -10. You add all that up, they were -50 in the win differential. -50 looks a lot better than +10. So let's not even talk about the 2011 Mavericks compared to the 95 Rockets. It's not close. You can argue that, well, those 4 teams were better, which they weren't better than all told, they were not better than the Rockets' 4 opponents. But even besides that, Houston was a 47-win team. And I just showed you that Drexler did not improve their record. They actually got worse, at least as far as the regular season goes. And, Dallas was, they were a 57-win team. They were 10 wins better than Houston was that year. But anyway, that's about it for this video. I thought this was really interesting. When you look at the biggest upsets in NBA history, I'll just do a quick recap here. I know this video is running a little long. The biggest ones in history, I think there's about 6 of them, 6 or 7 that were over 15 win differential. 59 Minneapolis Lakers over the Hawks. That was a 16 win differential. The 76 Phoenix Suns over the Golden State Warriors. They were the defending champions. That was a 17 win differential. The 81 Kansas City Kings over the Phoenix Suns. That was a 17 win differential. The 87 Seattle Supersonics over the Dallas. That was a 16 win differential in 87. 1994, this is the second biggest ever. Denver Nuggets 42-40 over Seattle 63-19, a 21 win differential. The biggest ever 07 8-seeded Golden State 42-40 beating the top seeded Dallas Mavericks at 67-15. That's a 25 win differential. And you know, as nice as the championship run was for Dirk, he also owns the biggest upset in playoff history. And then last but not least, we got the 2016 Cavaliers over the Warriors in the finals. Again, Green missed a game, Bogut missed 2, Barbosa missed 1. You know, put an asterisk by it. I don't know, you know, how much you want to put on that. They did come back to win. Would it have changed the complexion of the series? I don't know. I'm sure if Green was there, it might have turned out different. I don't know. And then the other guys, Bogut missing 2 and Barbosa 1. Hard to say. These things are hard to prove, hard to say. But anyway, that's about it for this video. I found it pretty interesting, but I've never really heard anybody go through the biggest upsets ever, and that's what I wanted to achieve here. So anyway, as usual, thanks to everybody who watched this video, and till next time.